this is a great game for you to find out, man, maybe I can play when they're physical. I don't have to shoot airball layups. I can play. Be strong, get open. I don't want to hear, well, the guy was holding me. Get open. And get open when the guy's ready to make a pass to you. Attack and then avoid. I'm telling you, you're going to come to the bench saying, dudes, they run 4 guys at you when you drive, which means come to stops, wings are open. That is an inside out. Second drive, you'll have what you want. Enjoy this kind of game.
This is Kentucky basketball.
Welcome to this edition of This is Kentucky Basketball. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. My co-host this week is UK senior Todd Lainer. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
You are living out the dream of so many Kentucky boys to play for the University of Kentucky. You grew up in Lexington and played for Paul Laurence Dunbar High School. What has it been like for you to realize that dream here at UK? It's
been an incredible experience. Coming out of high school, I didn't know that I was going to be able to realize it. But as I developed as a player and as a person and decided that this was the direction I want to go, everything kind of fell into place, and it's been incredible.
And you are also following in your father's footsteps. He walked on at Kentucky. He was here from 1979 to 1982 under Coach Joe B. Hall.
That's correct.
And so to be able to share that experience with him, what does that mean to you?
Well, he's been there with me every step of the way. He's told me what to expect, what not to expect, and always go 100%. And the number one thing he's taught me, I think, is when you walk off the court, forget about, things you can't change and have fun and enjoy it and be in the moment. And, I've had some ups and downs since I've been here. We've been to the NIT. We've lost the national title game. This year we're hoping to make another run at that. And he's just been there and been supportive and told me, how to look at things and, take advantage of opportunities and things like that. And it's been, an incredible blessing for me.
We have much more to come here with Todd Lainer. When we come back, we're going to flash back to 2011. But first, UK hitting the road to Columbia, Missouri to take on the Tigers this week. And Devin Booker, a homecoming for him as his father played for Mizzou. So here's a look back at UK, Missouri.
He had a chippy, should have taken it. Hawkins, right wing, three. Good for Dominique Hawkins. Switches to a right-hand dribble as he comes into front court. Over to Booker on the left side. Booker to the elbow. Pull up 15-footer. Good. Bounce speed down to Towns on the left baseline. Backing in. Turns into a right-hand hook. Good. Cauley-Stein at the top of the circle. Off to Hawkins, who hit the first bucket of the game. Bounces it down to Towns. Towns in the paint. Turns into a double team. Forces his way through it and scores. Off to Lyles on the right wing. Lyles into the paint. Shovel pass and a dunk for Dakari Johnson. Angles left, looked into the post, couldn't find anybody, so goes on the drive. Wraparound feed for a dunk by Marcus Lee. Bounces it to Lyles on the right wing, 15 to shoot as he drives baseline. 10-footer good. Off to Lyles. Lyles penetrates, jump pass out to Ulis. Fakes to Booker, moves in, 15-footer good. Double team, needs help, bounce feed to Towns, 4 seconds. Towns, baseline, fall away jump hook, rattles and stays. Tough shot, just ahead of the buzzer. Left side to Aaron. Thought about the three, drives instead, left elbow jumper, good. Rebounded by Dakari Johnson, his 7th of the night, leads Kentucky. Booker driving at the other end, layup good. Devin Booker with 7. Ulis out front. Off to Aaron Harrison, 3, right side, good. Put across to Gil Caesar. He fakes the 3, drives, ball knocked loose and dug out by Aaron Harrison. Kentucky on the break, over to Johnson, lays it in and got fouled by Gil Caesar. The right elbow, here's Gans. As the ball knocked away and it's stolen by Kentucky. Andrews spins, passes ahead for Cauley-Stein, who lays it in.
Boy, Andrew Harrison, what a save that was.
The Wildcats go to 20-0, 7-0 in the league with a 69-53 win here at Missouri.
This is Kentucky Basketball is presented by Kentucky One Health and is brought to you by Brick Street Insurance, Delta Dental, Kentucky Community and Technical College System, Kentucky Farm Bureau, and by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
In this week's Flashback, we're rewinding to 2011, the season opener for Kentucky. You were actually at that game, but as a fan, what do you remember? It was UK Marist.
It was the year that I transferred from my junior college, so I had to sit out. And I hadn't decided what school I was going to attend yet or where I was going to pursue, basketball. So being at that game in Rupp Arena, I had no idea that I'd be in uniform the next year here. And so as a fan, it was a first game of the year, I was excited. Got to see my team that I grew up watching play for the first time in person in a long time. And I remember Anthony Davis had an incredible game. A couple guys did. I think Terrence and Marcus Teague both played really well that game too. And it was a great win. Continued to streak, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, a home streak for Rupp Arena, and it was 34 straight with that game. But then the streak continued. Rupp Arena is always a great place for the Cats to play.
It is. It's unbelievable. It's unlike any other college atmosphere.
All right, here is this week's flashback from 2011 UK Marist.
This UK Flashback is brought to you by Kentucky One Health.
We turn back the big blue clock to 2011. The Cats opened the season against Marist at Rupp Arena, a place where John Calipari's teams have been unbeatable. Coach Cal juggled his starting lineup for UK's first ever meeting with the Red Foxes. Sophomore forward Terrence Jones was involved in a minor car crash the morning before. Unhurt, Jones was benched for a curfew violation. The game also marked the college debut of Anthony Davis. Marist kept it close with the Cats, trailing 45-36 at the half, but the Wildcats blew the game open in the second half. Led by Davis's 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 block shots, UK had a 50-point win in hand, 108-58. Freshman Marcus Teague scored 16, while Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Deron Lamb each finished with 15. It was also UK's 34th straight win at Rupp Arena, which set a new record for the building. That streak eventually would reach 54 games before Calipari lost a game in Rupp. Of course, Davis, MKG, and company would go on to win the school's 8th national championship later that year.
This UK Flashback was brought to you by Kentucky One Health.
Even though you weren't on that team, a lot of comparisons have been made to this team and that team. When you look at those two teams, what do you see? What similarities are there?
Well, I can speak for this team is, we're so close together, and Cal's always preached on that. You don't make it, far as a team unless you're close and mesh well together. So obviously that team had the same attributes in that sense, but they prided themselves defensively, as do we. Cal's always been known for his point guards, but in recent years he's developed a presence in the paint that's defended the basket really well. So with our shot blockers and our defensive attributes on the outside, we've taken a lot from that team and moved forward in our own way. So it's been we've had learning experiences from his teams in the past, and we continue to do that.
Two great Kentucky teams. When we come back, we'll take you inside the play. And this week's Meet a Wildcat is sophomore Marcus Lee. You're watching This Is Kentucky Basketball.
This is Kentucky Basketball.
Hi, this is John Robick from Kentucky Basketball, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside the Play. On this week's edition of Inside the Play, we're going to go to our road game at Alabama. Here we are defensively. We're getting back to swarming the ball, switching defenses, switching defenders, passing players along to one another, and it makes it hard for the opponent. Let's roll the tape. Aaron's occupying the ball handler. Trey and Dakari switch. All right, now they set a ball screen, so those two can switch that. As he slips, Trey has to go with him. The key to the play is Willie Cauley right here. All right, Willie has to get off and help on this penetration right here by Rodney Cooper. So as Cooper tries, Willie clogs it up. Dakari does a great job at 7 feet, 255 pounds of staying in front of a three-man. Willie does a good job stunting and getting back. You got the twins on the weak side. So as they try to post Trey Lyles, he takes that away. Willie knows he's playing a non-shooter, so he just has big hands. Now, if we rewind, now what the Twins are going to do is switch that right there. We can always switch that because we feel that Willie Cauley can guard a guard. And that's a luxury that we have, that a 7-footer can stay in front of their 2-guard in this case. On the catch by the opposite big, Trey's going to close out with high hands, really good ball pressure. Dakari's doing a good job of letting Aaron through. And we should look to switch this or fight that screen. Trey does a great job of walling up. We call that walling up right here. He's high and taking that split away. Willie again's the key in the middle. Little back screen. They switch again. Good ball pressure by Andrew. Another switch. This is all in one possession. Andrew has to do a good job of keeping him in front. Dakari does a good job of not coming up the lane for the dump off or the lob. Trey sticks his nose in there. Great steal, and we're off to the races.
This week's Meet a Wildcat is sophomore Marcus Lee. Todd, what can you tell us about Marcus that the fans may not know?
Marcus is a character. He, first off, he's an incredible athlete. He's actually in my phone as Marco Pogo because Coach called him Pogo Stick one day and it kind of stuck. But he watches cartoons every morning. His favorite food's like Fruit Loops. He plans on playing volleyball after his basketball career is over, which he's, an unbelievable athlete at. He grew up playing volleyball out in California. He's just an interesting person.
He has aspirations, for life after basketball that are pretty high tech too.
He does. He wants to follow in his brother's footsteps and go work for Apple and run the company one day. So we wish him the best of luck with that.
Yes, we do. Well, here's this week's Meet a Wildcat, Marcus Lee.
Meet a Wildcat is brought to you by Window World, the preferred window installers of the Big Blue Nation.
Stranded in the desert? Wait, is there polar bears at the North Pole? Maybe. I don't know. I'm still going with the desert. The most influential person would have to be my mom. She does so much for me to be here, so. Ooh. I'm going catfish. My mom cooks catfish every time we go home. Something surprising. I used to play the piano and I'm almost fluent in sign language.
Meet a Wildcat was brought to you by Window World, the preferred window installers of the Big Blue Nation.
Coming up, Coach John Calipari answers fan questions, and so does Todd. So stay with us. There's more to come here on This is Kentucky Basketball.
This is Kentucky Basketball. UK Athletics would like to thank our official Cornerstone partners, Central Bank, the official bank of UK Athletics, and Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
The selflessness, they've had to really allow us to do the things that we're doing. They've had to allow us. We couldn't just say, here's what we're doing. We had to sell it. We had to let them know. We had to get them to trust each other. We had to get them to trust the staff that their best interest was at heart. And every player has benefited by how we're playing. Now as we go forward, do we keep the clutter away? I talked to the players about a couple things. Clutter being one, to break us down, the clutter from outside, from media, from people around us, from people that really care about us and not about the team, that are going to say things. You talk about a team getting, where they're satisfied. We are fighting that. We want to continue to grow as a team.
If you'd like to send Coach John Calipari a question, just go to his Facebook page and he may answer it in an upcoming show. Now it's time for Twitter questions for Todd. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. At Mrs. A. Jonesy asks, what is the biggest difference you see in this year's team compared to last year's team?
I would say the defensive aspect. We were good defensively last year, but this year we've taken it to a whole new level. We're applying ball pressure, playing passing lanes. We've done a lot better job of not giving up corner threes, which is one of the things Cal prides himself on defensively, and we've protected the rim. And I would say the heartbreaking runner-up loss last year has, motivated these returners to, put everything on the line every day in practice, things that they might not have known.
At Wildcats fan was down in South Carolina and asks, what's it like to play on the road with a house full of blue?
I love it. Playing on the road is just something that, you don't get to do very often. like it's everybody's Super Bowl when we go there, and seeing the passion that they have for their team, and being able to go in there and get the job done it feels great.
At Fake Jamel asks, Todd's tweeted about being caught singing in the car. What's his favorite song to sing while driving?
I can't pinpoint a specific song because I don't know which time I've said that, but it happens plenty. And I'd say it was definitely a country song. I listen to country when I drive most of the time, and that doesn't surprise me that you would ask that.
At Harry Spires asks, what was the most memorable Big Blue Madness you participated in and why?
It would have to be my first one. Just because of that, it was my first one. It was kind of my, I'd already spent a season here because I transferred in after Big Blue Madness my first year. So my first Big Blue Madness would have been 2013, 2014. And it was just an incredible experience because like we talked about, I grew up being a fan, and it's something I've always wanted to be a part of. And that dream was realized that night, and it was a lot of fun.
When we come back, we'll wrap things up with Todd Lainer and take a look back at Kentucky, Alabama. You're watching This is Kentucky Basketball.
This is Kentucky Basketball.
You will be taking part in Senior Day festivities. What do you think that's going to be like for you, saying goodbye to Kentucky and having been part of this program?
Well, it's going to be, a dream come true, like this whole experience has been. It'll probably be hard on me just because it's gone by so fast. I've spent, 3 years here that felt like the seasons felt like they dragged on as they were happening. But looking back, I can't believe it's been 3 years since I came, and it'll be fun though. It'll be a good game. We got Florida, so we got like 5 home games left, I think, and it's going to be weird to suit up for the last time, but. Or the last time in Rupp Arena, at least. Hopefully not the last time, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, we wish you all the best. Thanks so much for being my co-host this week.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We'll be back next week for another edition of This is Kentucky Basketball, and we leave you now with a look back at Kentucky, Alabama in Rupp Arena.
Stein at the left elbow, gives it to Hawkins in the corner, feeds Towns, left of the lane, jump hook in the paint, rattles in and stays 2-2
when you're
tie.
struggling.
The Stein at the left elbow, guarded by Hale, dumps it down to Towns, turns baseline, 10-footer, good! He went to the right-hand hook first time, turned the other way to the baseline, fall away, and he's got all 4 points. Andrew Harrison pulls it off, drives it up the right side of the floor, puts it between his legs, drives through the lane, over to Aaron, 3-ball, left corner, good!
Andrew drove it up very quickly off the missed shot. Dakari Johnson blows right down the middle.
This one rolls off, no good. Tapped in by Marcus Lee. Ulis over to Booker, quickly down to Harrison, driving, baseline left, lays it up and in. Whistle, blocking call. And that bucket should count. Towns at the top of the key. Faces up. Nice feed to Harrison in the lane. Over to Lee, layup good. First foul on Kessens, he's out, Taylor's in, into Towns, drives and scores! He caught that inbounds pass on the left wing, drove through traffic, got it right to the rim and finger rolled it in. Tries to feed it to Taylor on that pick and roll, and Towns knocks it away. Feeds it ahead to Andrew Harrison. Down the left side, over to Ulis, pull up 3, left wing, got it! Timeout, Alabama! Andrew Harrison trapped in backcourt, bounces it to Hawkins. Hawkins fires it up into front court to Towns, lob and a slam! Feed into the post is deflected and stolen by Andrew Harrison. They were trying to get it to Taylor. Andrew drives, lobs, stolen for Marcus Lee. Fakes right, goes left, swing it back to Aaron. Open 3, left side, it's good.
You said it all. Nothing else needs to be said except Aaron Harrison left side.
Back to Aaron. Fakes Randolph, penetrates into the lane, out to Booker, straightaway 3, yes.
The double team came on Dakari Johnson.
Ulis comes back to the top of the key, over to Booker. Open 3, left side, Booker! The bounce pass, back to Andrew. Open 3, he'll let it fly, good!
Inside out, Andrew Harrison gathered himself.
52-35 Kentucky. Andrew bounces it to Johnson, dumps it underneath for a dunk by Cauley Stein. Crossover dribble out to Ulis, around to Booker. Quick 3, right corner, yes!
How quick did that ball spin from right to left and back to right again?
This is Kentucky Basketball, was presented by Kentucky One Health and was brought to you by Kroger, Safelite Auto Glass, Time Warner, Toyota, and by the UPS Store.